Great. Well, newcomers also seem to be increasingly worried about regulation, of course. And how do you see the discussions on regulation panning out this year? In your opinion, can investors expect a clearer look of a more broad regulatory framework in 2022?
I think overall regulations are developing much faster now in the crypto industry, for the crypto industry. I think it's going to be an ongoing process for many years or many decades, maybe even centuries. I think today we're still in the process where the regulators are just starting to look at this industry, and then they're just starting to see how can we regulate different aspects of the industry. And they're really only looking at a very narrow subset of the industry, which is the centralized exchanges. So in different countries, there's different regulatory frameworks. And most of the regulatory frameworks for crypto are bolt-ons onto the existing financial regulations. Most of them, some of them put into the payment services, some of them put into money transmission, some of them put into banking. And very few countries have a independent crypto regulatory framework, which I think we kind of need actually, because crypto is different from traditional financials. The first logical step is to borrow from existing financial regulations into the crypto space and use that, and then evolve from that. So I think we're still at that first stage. And within the space, there's the centralized exchanges, which regulators are looking at. There's DeFi, which only a few regulators are talking about it, but there's no published framework on how to regulate DeFi, and it's a very tricky question to how to regulate that anyway. There's NFTs, nothing. There's fan tokens. There's there's SocialFi. There's Metaverse. Like there's a few regulations on those things, and the industry is still evolving at a breakneck speed. And so we're only seeing like regulations in a subset of the sector. Within the centralized exchanges, currently, because the regulations are borrowed from banking industries, they're really only concerned about KYC and AML, which is very important, which is hugely important. But very few regulators are talking about listing frameworks. How do you do a security, wallet management? How do you handle customer support? How do you handle customer disputes? In which situations should you compensate, not compensate? In which situations the business responsibility? In which situations are the user's responsibility? And how do you do marketing? What type of marketing is allowed? What type of marketing scheme, that's Ponzi schemes, etc. So all of these things are not really talked about today in regulatory frameworks, and I think they should be incorporated. But look, it's a new industry, it will take time, and we are here to work with regulators through all of those issues, and even hopefully outside of centralized exchanges, because we also have projects, we also invest very heavily in DeFi, in the decentralized world. So we want to, so I think we're still at a very early stage.